Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design. It was colored to look like it is engraved on some kind of blue stained wood, and I'm really excited with how this style of coloring looks and this style of design looks, and I hope you like it as well. Anyway, let's get to the explanation of how to read this design because it says stuff, and it can be read using this key. So here's our first word, second word, third word, fourth word, fifth word, and then sixth word of this design. And this script is a time traveler's script, so you read each word starting at the bottom and then going counterclockwise, like going back in time. So the bottom of this first word is here, and that means this is our first letter here. So we have to figure out which of these four-letter stems this is. And if we look at our word circle, which is this thin line one here, there's this deep divot taken out of it, which matches this top one here, because it's not a shallow divot like these guys, nor is it a completed circle like those. So this deep divot stem has some stuff on it. So we can tell that there's at least one line here, so it's got lines on it, and then these are kind of tricky little lines here. So even though these lines wrap back around and make a circle, they still end on this stem. So we have a line ending here, a line ending here, and a line ending here. So three lines end on this stem, making it the letter F. And then we have this little guy. And these like rings, these little circles, are all vowels. And vowels have different positions depending upon what vowel they are and if they're attached on one of these four stems. So here we have a vowel attached to a deep divot stem. So we're going to look at our deep divot and we're going to decide which of these three positions it's in. It's not centered, it's not in the middle, it's not outside the word circle, which means it's on the line. And if we look down here, that means it's an O, because an O is like a bead on a string attached to these consonants. And when there's a vowel and a consonant together, you read the consonant first and then the vowel. So this is an F and an O. And that's our first chunk of letters. And then our next letter in this word is this one. It's a shallow divot, so we're in this row. And there are some dots by it. And if we count them up, 1, 2, 3 dots closest to that letter, that would be an R. And then we have this little circle, it's a vowel, and it's not attached to one of these four stems, so we're going to look at the word circle right here. And it is right on the line of the word circle, so that makes it an E. An I and a U are like the E, but an I has a line going inwards. This little blue line turns an E into an I, and then a line going outwards turns it into a U. So this is just an E because there's no lines. Then we have this shallow divot, and it's got one line on it, so that's a V. And then there's a vowel attached to it. And if we look at this vowel, it's not an O, but it's either an E or an A. And to tell the difference between these two, we look at where that word circle line would go. And this vowel is on that line or inside the mouth of that divot, making it an E. If it were outside here, then it would be an A. But this is an E because it's right on the line or inside that stem. And then we have another R, 1, 2, 3 dots, just like these 3 dots here. So altogether, F-O-R-E-V-E-R. Forever is our first word. Our next word is here, and it starts with a vowel. And it's outside the word circle, so that's an A. And then we have this letter, and it is a complete circle, and it's inside the word circle, not on the line, so that makes it in this row. And there's one line modifier ending on it, so that makes it an N. And then we have this deep divot here, deep divot, and it's got 3 dots. 1, 2, 3 dots. So A and D is AND. And then we have this next letter here. These two are pretty close, but the A is first. If this A were attached to this L, it would be out here. So we start with the A, just like this word starting with an A. And then we have 1, 2, 3 dots on a circle inside the word circle. So that's an L. Then we have this letter. It's a shallow divot, and it's got 1, 2 lines on it. So that would be a W. Here's another A. And then there's 1, 2 dots on a circle on the line of the word circle. So this is our first time in the bottom row here. And that makes it a Y with 2 dots. And then we have this shallow divot, and it has 1 line here, as well as these 1, 2 tricky lines here. And I did these tricky lines the same way I did these tricky lines here. So that would be an S with 3 lines. And then we have these extra rings, and they are the sentence circle, which are a bit stylized. Typically, you'd have this going around the whole design instead of just the middle, but I wanted this kind of look of the thin to thick to thin for this design. And there is a comma on it before this word here. So this filled in circle is a comma, and I don't have punctuation on this guide because this is just the basic word pocket guide to circles. But a comma is a thick filled in circle. A period would be like a vowel, it would be open. Anyway, so here's the comma, and here we have our next word. The bottom of it's here, and we don't hit our first letter until this one. And it's another N with 1 line on it, just like this N. And then we have a vowel by itself, and it is an O because it's inside the word circle, so no. And then we have this word here. Our first letter has 1, 2, 3 lines on a circle inside the word circle, so that's an M. Here's an A outside the word circle. And then we have this. This is a double line. That means it's a double letter. And because these lines are the same thickness, that means it's the same letter twice. So it's a shallow divot with no modifiers. That's a double T. And then we have this E right on the line of that word circle, similar to this R. And then we have this R, 1, 2, 3 dots on it. So that would be the R on matter. And then our last word here, here's just another decorative curve. I put these here to kind of look like phases of the moon or something. Anyway, but they help kind of, make symmetry and also add a little bit of separation between this A, which goes with this word as opposed to this word. Okay, here's our very last word. The bottom is here, and this letter does cross the bottom, so it is first. It's a shallow divot with 1, 2 lines on it. So that would be a W. And then we have this deep divot, and lines that pass through letters do not count. They count when they end on the letter. So this line only counts on the W, but there are 1, 2 lines here that count on the H, and then here's the A outside the word circle, and then there's this shallow divot with nothing ending on it. Lines that pass through don't count again, so that would be a T, so W-H-A-T. So all together we have forever and always, comma, no matter what. And I hope you like your design. I'm really happy with it myself. Bye.